Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's video was supposed to be a race day. We didn't have enough people show up, so I figured I'd mess around with a nitro buggy. So I started messing with it, and I run the Ultimate Racing M3X. I've been running this engine for a long time now. It's probably starting to get a little tired, but I noticed when I had it out, there's a small crack in the mounting right there. So in the mounting position, so I probably need to replace this case, but I don't know if it's even worth it because the engine's getting a little tired. I hadn't decided yet. I don't have the money to do it. So what I decided to do, I still have my truggy engine, which is still pretty fresh, the M5S. So I've put my M5S on my buggy, which is a little bit much. I ran this in my buggy at bigger races with a bigger track, but I figured I'm just gonna, for now, I don't really have another spare engine, so I put that in there and we're gonna see what it does. So what I did, I like the carburetor on the M3X better, O2J I think it's called. I put that carburetor on here, and this is just gonna be simply a video of running it and trying to get it tuned in and get it in the ballpark. I'm not trying to get it perfect. Just make sure if a race comes up, I can get it to a tunable spot. So I'm going to take it out of the track and give it a run, see what happens. Okay, so got this thing fired up, and it starts right off the bat. It starts really rich. It won't hardly run. So we'll fire it back up, but I can tell it's not got heat in it yet. So we got to get some more heat in it. This takes several minutes to get enough heat in it to get it in the ballpark. But I can tell right away that it's fat on the bottom, because it wants to bog. Like I said, the temperature's not up yet. I want to say it was 150, 170 degrees right there. So trying to get a little heat in it before I start doing much, but at some point I'm gonna have to start leaning it out a little bit to keep it going. So we'll see what I do here. Yeah, you hear it bog, but like I say, its temperature is not up yet, so I got to get heat in it. But at some point I've got to lean it out here to be able to get the temperature in it. So today was supposed to be a race day, and we only had a couple people show up. There's a big race in northern Alabama and a lot of stuff going on right now, this beautiful weather, so I understand people got things going on. So figured I'd take this opportunity to get a little testing done and get this thing set up while I had the problem with the engine. So yeah, see how it bogs right there? That's too much fuel on the bottom. Like I said, I changed this carburetor off of the M3X onto the M5S, and it was good on the M3X, but you know, each engine is a little different, so it's not quite starting from scratch, but it's not far from it. Still fat. Just continuing to warm it up here. Also put a lean on top. You'll hear it go ballistic a couple of times when I rev it. But like I say, temperature's not up, so you can't really get it 100%. So I see when it sits there at idle a minute and you give it gas, and it bogs like that and smokes like crazy, it's definitely fat on the bottom. At some point, oh, there it goes. I was like, oh yeah, gotta take a little. Okay, now I'm finally gonna lean it out on the bottom a little bit. Forgot it's on this side. I got the car turned around, so I didn't take a whole lot, maybe an hour. Gotta let it clean out before you can judge what it really did. I always turn the car around this way, even though it's smoking me in the face. I'm so used to tuning it that way. I've run out of fuel. I think I'm about to put it on the track. Probably should lean it out just a little more. Temperature's still 180 probably, I think, or 190. I'm not quite up. This engine likes upper 200s. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna run it out there a little on the fat side. At this point, I'm worried about staying running until I get up there. Seems like the longest walk when you don't have anybody setting it down for you and a chance to clean it out. Yeah, see how fat it was on the bottom? And like I say, I think it was a little lean on the top here, so it cleans itself out pretty quick. I'm gonna go ahead and flip over. I think we're getting close to the end on this video. Something happened, the camera shut off. It was okay right here, still a little fat on the bottom, never quite cleared up. Something happened in the video, it cut off. I bring it back in the pits and try to tune it get the box tuned so I got heat in it. And it was going fine. It wanted to stall out. It was just bogging down because it's so fat on the bottom. I mean, I leaned it out and leaned it out and leaned it out and got that okay. And then in the middle of trying to tune it, all of a sudden it just free revved like crazy. Just don't know what happened. Then I lost all radio control. So I just stopped and went out to the trailer, and then I'll talk about that here in a minute. The connection on my battery switch / plug broke, so I had to go fix that and get back at it. So I'll let this run on out, and I'll come up and talk here in just a second. See you in a minute. Okay, so I'm back. That was the initial run. I had a little problem. I got back and was trying to fine tune it a little bit, get it dialed in a little bit. It was a little fat on the bottom, so it kept wanting to flame out. So I was working on that, and I was cleaning it out and running it, and it went wide open all of a sudden. Just like I'm lucky it didn't run away. So I stopped and I brought it back to the trailer, and I found out my switch, the wire on the bottom of my switch broke. It just happened at a good time. I lost all control from the battery, so normally I take that piece when I solder the connections on the bottom of the switch. I say it's a switch, it's just a plug that I use. Been pretty foolproof, but what I usually do is I make my solder connections under there, and then I shoe glue them so the wire doesn't get moved around and broken. And I didn't do that this time, and it broke on me. It happened at a good time, so I should have videoed that, but I was just in a panic trying to figure out what it was and fix it. So I soldered it back, and I'm going to come back. I don't have any shoe glue. I got to go get some. I'm going to shoe glue it back in there, and it should be good to go. So I got it back together. I'm going to go run it one more time, try to get it a little closer in the ballpark, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, we're back, getting ready to get back on the track. We're gonna fire this guy up here. Got the switch all fixed up. Warmed it up just a little bit with a heat gun. Fires right up like a champ. Still a little cold, so the tune's not exactly right, but it's a little better. I adjusted it a little bit that last time right before that switch broke, so it is better than it was. So yeah, there's not enough heat in it yet to tell much. So like I'm gonna clean it out on the bottom just a little bit right there, get that little bog out of it. Gotta clean it out first, and then before you can judge. So in the middle of doing this right here in just a second, you see me look at my watch. The pit chick gave me a call in the middle of it. So I went and took that call, I edited that out so you wouldn't have to hear that. So, starting to get the temperature up. Still a little fat on the bottom. I'm going to lean it out probably another hour. Lean it out here and see what it sounds like. A little better. I'm going to go ahead and sit down the track. Now this time, I'm worried about it. I'm worried about that it might cut off right here, so I stop halfway up the driver's stand and go ahead and make a few laps. See how fat it was, just bogging and spitting out all that white smoke. I think it was pretty good here. It's probably still a little fat on the bottom. Oh, I flip it right over the track there. So in a minute I move, I go on up in the driver's stand where I can see a little better. I wasn't too concerned about how it was driving or anything but how the engine was doing, so just I had to get it close. It didn't have to be perfect because next time I race it, I'll get it fine-tuned and ready to race. So right there on the whoop section, this engine, watch right here, I think this, yeah, see I drive all the way up there. It's so much power, it wants to go out the other end of the building. It's really got a lot of top end. And I put the 2141 pipe, which is a bottom end pipe, so it's about as good as it's going to get. I think the top end was fairly lean and strong as hell right here, so. But going into the whoop section there, I run off the track. Going into the whoop section there, usually I roll that first one, then double and kind of case the last one out to slow the car down and turn. They didn't want to do that little double. Like it needed a little more bottom out. I'm not sure if it's tune or just the power band of the engine there, so I may have to approach it a little different. Yeah, run it off. I got lucky and landed on my tires. Wasn't anybody to corner marshal this time. So, cars, the engine is super strong. I ran this engine at SIC. It was a lot easier to drive than it is here because the track was more open and bigger. Oh, we got hung up with each other there, I guess.
I got no reverse.
Ain't got no reverse. Later on, they were out there corner marshaling. I had my e-buggy. He went to grab it just like that, and I put it in reverse and backed up and got him. This car handles really good. One thing I want to note is I put some Aqua Ellipse tires on there that I forgot I had for yesterday, and it was kind of hot and not real dry, but a little bit. So at first, these tires are amazing. At first, they're not all that good. And then you run 3 or 4 laps, get some heat in them, and they come on like crazy. It's a really good tire. Perfect tire for that situation. So if it was race day, it'd have been on. So right here was pretty good. I don't remember how. I think I ended up getting it on the box later on. Checked it. It was in the ballpark. So. Pretty happy with it. It looks like that's going to be my engine to run for a little while. There's flip her over there. Oh, got a corner marshal. So I'll let this run on out. I'll stop talking and we'll listen to the car for a little while, and then I'll be back to talk here at the end. See you.
133.2. Hammer and Hammer 22.7. Jack Meadows 29.3. Hammer 18.3. Hammer and Tanner 23.3. Hammer 20.9. Jack Meadows 44.9. Hammer 19.5.
Okay, so that was the last run. I got it pretty close. It's not perfect, but it's definitely drivable. But I can say, boy, this engine's got a lot of power. It is crazy power. It's more top end power. I prefer the M3X bottom end here at the warehouse. Just mostly the short, like the whoop section. I have a little more bottom end with the M3X, so I'll single, double, double out, not double, but double, and then case it and come out. So I've got to approach the whoop section a little different. I hadn't quite figured that out, but I will. And it may be in the tune. I think it's still a little fat on the bottom. I'll get it fine-tuned later, but it's in the ballparks enough to the point to where if the race was to come up, I can get it going right away. So pretty happy with it. Going to be a little bit different driving, but I'm going to have to get used to it for a little while until I can either replace that crank or get a new engine. So M5S is a super strong engine. It's a lot of power for a buggy, that's for sure. It was plenty of power for the truggy. It's perfect. Buggy, it's good on the big open track. Smaller track, I think I prefer the M3X. And they got the new engine out now. I may try that. We'll see. But that's going to have to come down the road because money's tight right now, especially with the way gas prices are these days. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you next time.